I am somebody who does not want to hide behind wigs and sew-ins and things like that, but it was getting to that point where if I kept wearing wigs and kept doing the frontal installs, I was going to have to hide behind the wigs, and that was just a no for me because I'm not somebody who is naturally bald-headed. No shade. Hey it girls, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina, for those of you who are new to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about hair. If you are not familiar with me, I used to have a hair business called the Sabrina Effect that I retired from, and maybe I'll speak on that in another video. But I used to wear wigs for a good amount of time, for about like 5 years. I retired from wearing wigs. I started wearing wigs because I wanted it to be a protective hairstyle, but that ain't protect nothing. If anything, it made my hair go downhill. Before I started wearing wigs, I was very happy with the length that my hair was at, and after I stopped wearing wigs, my hair, it was unrecognizable. I'm like, this is not me. My edges was thinning, my hair length just was not growing. I'm gonna get into all of that because it's really not my fault. Wigs and protective styles and that whole natural hair movement, I let it get to my head, and it's not for everybody, and it surely wasn't for me. As you can see, I am a sew-in girl, but I've always been a sew-in girl. But let me just get into the history of why I started wearing wigs, why I started selling hair, all of that stuff, before I get into sew-in versus wigs, because I am very qualified to give y'all the real on whether you should wear sew-ins or you should stick to your wigs. I went to school in Virginia, Hampton University, and at that time there was not a lot of good stylists that was really laying hair. When it comes to hair, I was always eating the girls up when it came to hair. No, but for real, because my sew-ins hair always was laid. Every time I would need to get my hair done, I would have to come back to the city to get my hair done, and it became very tiring, very like costly. It was just too much. So I'm like, okay, I see that, you know, wigs is starting to become a thing. Let me start wearing wigs. And also, I'm somebody who will spend a lot of money on hair extensions. I am all about quality because I know that when I invest in good hair extensions, it's going to last me, and it's going to be a gift that keeps on giving. So at that point, I think my sophomore year of college, I'm like, okay, I can't afford both getting my hair done by a top quality hairstylist, because that's another thing about me. I'm always investing in who does my hair. Like, I do not play about my hair. Like, I have to look good. Like, I was spending my last money on hair. So I'm like, okay, I can't really afford to get the top stylist and top bundle. So I got to choose one. Either I get like AliExpress hair and go to a top stylist, or get the really good hair and do the hair myself. So I'm like, okay, let me just get the hair myself. At that time, I was buying Diamond Virgin hair. I don't know if she still sells hair, but yes, before that, it was Kendra's Boutique. So I was always Miss Good Hair. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy the extensions, and then I am going to make the wig myself. And that's how I got into making wigs, and then eventually started selling hair. I will speak on why I retired from the Sabrina Effect later on, but that's not important right now. That's just a little bit of history as to how I got into like selling hair and just the whole me getting into wigs and sew-ins. I started wearing wigs in 2018, and I retired from wearing wigs in 2022. So that's about 4 years wearing wigs back to back to back to back. And as I said, I started wearing wigs as a protective style. I was happy with the length and how my hair was looking. So I'm like, okay, if my hair is looking like this right now, I bet you I can get my hair to look better than this by just not doing anything to it and just wearing wigs. I was so wrong. By the end of 2022, when I started going into sew-ins, my edges was thinning. My hair was not growing. If anything, the length was half the length I even started with before I started wearing wigs. And I had to come to a quick realization, like, this is not it. Like, for me personally, no, this is not who I am. So I'm like, okay, let me go back to sew-ins, because I remember when I was wearing sew-ins before I started wearing wigs, my hair was flourishing. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go into sew-ins, and I'm also going to touch upon the reasons why I stopped wearing wigs and started wearing sew-ins. I'm going to have a list because I definitely do. As I said, my edges was thinning, my hair was not growing, and it was not my fault. Firstly, with my Meek Mill braids, I always got it professionally braided every 4 to 6 weeks. You would never see me with no crusty ass Meek Mill braids because I always needed my face to be snatched. You know, when you have like the fresh braids, your face is always snatched. That's what I needed to give every time like I put my wig on. I wore closures on a regular and frontals when I just wanted to pop out and look really cute, which is like probably like once a month. And I will always get my frontals professionally installed, but the closures I would just put on myself because that was just my everyday wig. I say all that to say that I never really slept in my wigs unless I got a frontal install, and my frontal installs only last a week to 2 weeks, so it was nothing too crazy. So every time I took my wigs off, I would get my meeks rebraided 4 to 6 weeks. I would always get a washing set and trims when needed. I always oiled my scalp and make sure that my braids was moisturized. All of that, and my hair was still not growing. And I wish I took pictures of like my before and after, but I was so like not feeling what was given that I could not bring myself to take pictures. Like I felt not cute. And I'm not gonna say I felt ugly, I felt not cute. So I'm like, yo, I really cannot take pictures because I'm not feeling this right now. But long term, I wish I would have took pictures because you guys would have seen definitely what I was talking about. So when I say that, you know, my hair not going where it needed to be was not my fault, it was not my fault. Like I did what I needed to do on my end. But then I realized that I was never a natural hair girl. Like before I even went natural, I was getting my perms, and I stopped getting perms. I don't get perms to this day. My hair is still natural, but my hair is soft, so it can be, you know, straight in, curl. It can do all of that stuff and still give what it needs to give. My hair likes heat. It likes to be straightened. It likes to be pressed. Like that is my hair. I notice that my hair flourishes when it is pressed and it's getting the heat that it needs because my hair can retain moisture that way. But when it's just natural and just, you know, not blown out, my hair does not retain moisture, which is why my hair was not retaining the length, which is why my hair was not growing. And with my edges thinning, it was because of the ball cap. Like the ball cap was literally pulling on my edges, but I didn't know that until like the last year of me wearing wigs, where I would just be like, okay, install my frontal, no wig cap. You can still give scalp, you can still give all of that with no wig cap. And I didn't know that till my last year. I'm like, yo, like, why is my edges looking like this? Like, this is really crazy. It was getting to me because I'm like, I don't want to be like bald headed with no wig off. I don't want to take my wig off and I have nothing to show for what's on my head. And that's a big thing. So all of that reached this breaking point, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try in sew-ins, right? And that's when I was seeing my hairstylist, her work. I don't even want to just put her in the hairstylist category because that's really my girl. Akia is really my girl. She be slaying my hair, and I just love going to her. Like, it's not just me going to get my hair done. It's literally a therapy session, and I just love her, and I'm just so happy that I came across her work because yeah, she does what needs to be done, and I credit her as to why my hair is giving what is given today. And my hair is definitely flourishing, and I definitely give her all the credit. So if you see me looking down on my phone, it's because I have a list as to what solidified me wanting to get sew-ins. The first reason is that I wanted to start going for a classy, natural look. So I was going through my healing phase, and I'm rebranding myself like, okay, I don't want to give Sabrina from the block or Sabrina from the Bronx. And there's no shade because I still love the Bronx, but I don't want to give that. I want to give classy, young, educated, black, African lady. Sew-ins definitely give that. You know, my little 22-inch body weight definitely gives the classy, natural look that I'm going for. I noticed that with wigs, I was attracting certain kind of guys, and it was just not what I wanted. So I'm like, okay, if I want to stop attracting these kind of guys, then I have to, you know, switch it up. So the next reason why I decided to get into sew-ins is because I literally got tired of having glue on my forehead and having to upkeep the lace and the frontal install to making sure that it lasts more than a week, especially in the heat. Glue on your forehead is very uncomfortable. I would break out sometimes from the irritation. And I just literally got tired of the lace upkeep, having to fix the baby hairs and wipe up my forehead and reapply the glue. After 4 years, bro, of that, you get tired of having to do that. So I'm like, okay, that is strike 2. Strike 3 was my hair was not growing. Like, I could not understand how my hair growth was just going downhill when this is supposed to be a protective style. And I'm just like, okay, my hair not growing, my edges are thinning out. I'm literally taking care of my hair. Like, this is not me just, you know, taking the wig off and just fuck my hair and just reinstalling new wigs on raggedy ass braids. No, like I literally took care of my hair, so I could not understand why my hair is not growing. It got to the point, like I said, it was just like, okay, it's time to make a change because this is crazy. Like I never want to be one of those girls who take their wig off and it's just like, who done did it and why. I was going to the top hairstylists to get my wigs installed because I am a brand ambassador for my brand, the Sabrina Effect. If my hair is looking raggedy, people is not going to want to shop with me. So I always had to make sure that my hair was looking real good. I also felt like I had to go to the top hairstylists because my lace is very expensive and I don't want to just go to a stylist who's going to just fuck up the lace and it's one and done. I can't reuse the lace because even though I sell hair, I like to reuse my hair. I'm not that one and done kind of girl. No, I need to get my money out of the hair and the wigs that I buy. So I want to go to a stylist to make sure that, you know, the lace is still going to be good after that first install, and two, that same stylist can reinstall my, you know, my hair. So I spent a good amount of money with wigs. Like, even though I sold the hair, it was not cheap. Like, I always made sure that my hair was looking like what it needed to give. I got tired of spending $250 on an install. I feel like a decent price for getting, you know, a wig installed is like $180, but $250, and this is no shade to no stylists who charge a lot of money to get, you know, to do installs and whatnot, because I feel like you should definitely charge what you're worth, but it was just not making sense for me to be paying $250 for something that lasts me 10 days at most. And like I'm saying, this is no shade to the stylists who do charge, you know, a cute little penny to get your hair done, because if you can't afford it, then go to somebody cheaper. And not only was the install expensive, the hair itself is expensive, the lace is expensive, the hair care, everything. It's not me just paying $250 to go and get the wig installed. I'm also paying additional $50 to get my braids done. I'm also paying additional $50 to get my washing sets. Like, it became very, very costly to upkeep, you know, these frontal installs that was lasting 10 days. Even though I sell hair, people think like buying hair wholesale is cheap. Good hair, wholesale or not, is not cheap. Like, I still spend a cute little penny on my hair, on my lace, and I'm also getting like the best of the best because I'm willing to pay the extra money for having the best of the best. So I'm on strike 1, 2, 3, 4. Strike 5 was 6 was like, okay, I'm spending $250 to get my wig installs done for 10 days when I could be spending the same amount of money to get a sew-in to last me 8 weeks. I'm gonna go the sew-in route. It just made more sense. I'm spending less money on hair because I don't have to get the lace. I'm just getting the bundles. I'm spending less time because I was hand making all of my wigs. So it's just like, I don't have to do all of that hard labor. I'm not spending the same amount of money. So cost-wise, me getting sew-ins was more cost effective. So now, with all that being said, I just spoke on why I stopped wearing wigs. I gave you a whole background on, you know, how I got into hair. Now I'm going to tell you my opinions on sew-ins. So with sew-ins, like I said, I've always been a sew-in girl. I just started wearing wigs for it to be a protective style and more cost effective, when it was just the opposite of what I thought I was getting myself into. With sew-ins, like I said, I give credit to my stylist. Like, Akia is that girl. She's very talented. She's very blessed with her hands, and I'm just so glad that I found her. I prayed to God and I said, okay, God, I'm looking for somebody who has blessed hands, who's going to make my hair grow, who's going to get me together, whose work is amazing, whose work speaks for itself. And I just kept seeing Akia's work on TikTok. Like, I love her work so bad. So I'm like, okay, let me, you know, book her to see what this gives. And it's just been her ever since. So with sew-ins, definitely I have seen a transformation from where I started to where I am now. I did not take before pictures because I did not expect to get the results that I got. I was not feeling cute with the beginning. Taking pictures, like, I'm like, no, I'm not taking pictures of this shit. Like, but I wish I took pictures to show y'all the before and after. My hair definitely grew over 3 inches within 5-6 months, okay? And I give Akia all the credit because I don't do anything to my hair. I do not do anything to my hair. I just wash my hair, and that's it. I don't even oil my scalp, and my hair grew. Like, she literally does everything for me. Like, when I go to the appointment, she does all the oiling. She does everything. The only thing I do when I have sew-ins, is I wash my extensions and I wash my natural hair. I'm also going to make another video on, you know, how to upkeep your natural hair and your hair extensions in another video, so stay tuned for that. With sew-ins, people ask, like, do I experience heat damage? And no, I do not experience heat damage because I go to a bomb-ass stylist. And I also feel like it is important for people to book stylists. Like, if you're doing a sew-in, you want to go to somebody who specializes in natural hair care, not somebody who knows how to lay tracks and knows how to lay a glue on somebody's forehead. Like, he is definitely, you know, somebody who specializes in natural hair care. She's in cosmetology school, so she is doing her thing, okay? She's definitely doing her thing. I love sew-ins. Like, I love sew-ins. Like, it's definitely giving everything that I knew it was going to give when I stopped wearing wigs. I keep my sew-in for 2 to 3 months max, and then I take it out and get another one. I went for a maintenance only one time, but me and Akia both agreed that, you know, me coming in for maintenances was a waste of money because I'm somebody who can do my own hair, and she was doing things that I could have did myself. So I'm glad she was real enough to tell me that I was wasting my money and to just do my own hair. I get my hair installed and then I maintain it for the 2 to 3 months, and then I go back for a new install. I love and I appreciate the classy look that it gives that wigs don't give. And this is not to say that, you know, wigs is not it. Me personally, what I attracted when I was wearing wigs and what I attract when I have in sew-ins, yes, your hairstyle does make a difference. Would I go back to wearing wigs? Not in this moment. Like, when I think about the shit that you literally have to do to upkeep wigs, me doing sew-ins is just very low maintenance for me personally. Minimum effort. Like, wigs stress me out. Not saying that I would never do wigs again or I would never wear wigs again, but not in this moment. Some people get better results from wearing wigs. They definitely see hair growth. They definitely, you know, get the results that they're looking for when it comes to wearing it as a protective style. Me personally, it was just not working for me, and it took me 4 years to realize that it was not working for me. So just because sew-ins work for me does not mean that it's going to work for you, and just because wigs didn't work for me doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. When it comes to hair, we do what we think is best for our hair, but our hair has a mind of its own. Like, I tried to do the natural wave because I thought that was best for my hair, but my hair was just like, no, like, put some heat, like, do something, you know, and that works for me. Some people's hair don't like heat, so you have to listen to your hair and decide what your hair like. I know that a lot of people want to get into wearing sew-ins, but they're scared that it might damage their natural hair. Listen to what your hair needs, you know. People worry about, you know, if their leave-out is going to be heat damage. I wouldn't say it's going to be heat damage, but that tight curls that you want to hold on to is not going to give that by the end of your sew-in, depending on how you care for your natural hair. But listen, if you want the sew-in, you got to be willing to put some heat onto the hair. If you're not willing to put heat onto the hair, just stick to the wigs. If you want your hair to be slayed, you got to put the heat to the hair. Whether that damages or not, you got to do what you got to do. It's not by force for you to get into sew-ins and whatnot. You can even try a U-part wig if you want to, you know, see if it's going to be something that you're willing to invest in for 4 to 8 weeks. And you don't even have to keep it in that long. That's how long I keep it in, because, you know, it just works out for me. To sum up everything that was said, would I go back to wearing wigs? Not in this moment. Like, I cannot imagine myself going back to wigs in this moment. Maybe in the future, yes, I would definitely go back to wearing wigs, but not in this moment. When it came to closure and frontals, which one did I prefer? I definitely preferred wearing frontals because of the look that it gave. Anybody looks really good when they wear a frontal. It just snatches your face back, the baby hairs, like, everything just gives when you wear a frontal. But it's not for everyday wear. Like I said earlier, I wore closures for everyday kind of wear, for like work and just everyday, and then frontals for like pop outs. But I definitely did enjoy wearing frontals. However, them edges, did not enjoy those frontals. I do not suggest wearing frontals every day because it's not an everyday kind of thing. With closures was okay, but it's just okay. Like, it's nothing, like, it's okay. But sew-ins is just giving what it needs to give for me right now. Like, I live for a good sew-in. I love watching sew-in videos. I love watching stylist style sew-ins. Like, I'm just living in the moment of sew-ins right now. And I literally do not have any advice as to how to maintain your hair growth, hair length, because obviously what I was doing wasn't working for me. So thank you, it girls, for tuning into this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, if you are in tune with me and you are on this channel every week, please hit the subscribe button. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Sabrina Effect, and like, comment, you know, let me know that you are in tune. And be sure to stay tuned for my next video that will go into how I maintain and upkeep my hair extensions and my natural hair. Thank you, girls, for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.